All right, guys, I just left the property, and you know, we've had a lot of encounters and odd things that happened up here. Excuse me. A lot of things that have happened on this property. A lot of very strange things. Hold on, I've got a major glare on the screen. I'll try to get this readjusted for you. There ain't much I can do about that, I don't believe. Maybe it'll change whenever I turn the car. But anyhow, I captured a snake on the way down here. An oak snake, which is one of our native friendlies in Florida. And I turned him loose on the property. I just left, and so I'm gonna just give you an idea of what happened. On the way here, I caught an oak snake in the road, so I caught him. I brought him to the property and I turned him loose. We're hoping that by having all of these large rodent eaters, these non-poisonous rodent eaters, that we won't have to deal with as many moccasins and copperheads and rattlesnakes that are common for this area. Pardon me. But after releasing the snake, I was going back to the area where we were putting gifts out for a short while until that baseball I put out, till something ate the skin off that baseball. I was headed back to that area to check it. We haven't been out there in over a month. I cleared about a 50-foot square with the tractor back there to get rid of some of that real thick stuff. So when we'd come up here doing our walks, we didn't feel like we were prey animals. It was just a really bad feeling walking back there because of how thick a lot of the brush and the stuff was that was growing. But I didn't make it back to that point. Walking down the trail that takes me back there, my camera was acting up. The focus, it would focus on a tree or a bush, and then it would blur, and it would just seek to try to catch focus again. And so I had to go in my settings and find out what was going on with it. And what it was, I'm using the camera and my phone only now, and that's what you're watching this from. But my camera settings with the new update that just happened, is what I'm thinking. It turned on the auto tracking mode to where if you're filming somebody running or doing any active sport or anything that there's a lot of movement, you can track that person. You can lock on them and it'll keep them in focus regardless of how close or far they get from the lens of the camera. Well, it was turned on, and as soon as I found where it was turned on, I turned it off, and then in front of me, quite close in front of me, something started growling at me, a very loud, very deep and long drawn out growl. And immediately I was looking in that direction. I did not see anything. I did not hear anything except the growling. There was no movement. Whatever it was standing still. And so I hurried up and I turned my camera back to video and I started recording. And I could still hear the growling. It wasn't as loud as that initial burst, but I'm praying that it's on video. If you guys can see, I've got a Lavalier mic on. It's just a better quality mic if you're doing a lot of talking in your videos and your recordings. These mics, there's no comparison between the mic in your phone or your camera and the recording that these mics do. So I don't know how loud, how quiet, or even if the growl is on the video. I'm hoping that you guys will be able to hear it. It's very long, drawn out, and I only heard a growl like that one time in my life, and that was when I had my bad encounter in Marianna, Florida. Of course, it wasn't as loud as that one, but it was the same type of growl, and I got scared and I walked away from it. And I came up on we have blackberries, wild blackberries all over the property, and I'll show you guys one patch right there near the start of our trail that goes to the back, and it's got a lot of fruit on it. And then I'll show you another patch that's about 40 or 50 feet further away from the trail start, and that one looks like something come through there and just walked all over the top of them briars. The blackberry bushes they have nasty thorns on them, and they'll eat you alive if you walk through them. Even with blue jeans on, they'll go right through the material and they'll prick you up pretty good. But something's broke a lot of them, and there is almost no fruit on them. And could be a bear. It probably could be big birds like crows. I don't know if they could break the stems, and I did get a little bit on camera, which you guys will see in a few minutes. But something moved to my right side as I was showing you guys these blackberries. Had to change camera view because it overheated and cut off again. But something had moved to my right side, and it was pretty loud, pretty obvious, whatever it was. And I decided to leave. That's just too much happening in too short of a time for me to stick around. I don't know what any of this stuff was. I don't know if it was a bear. I don't know if it was a coyote. But when you get the bad feeling in your gut at the same time, at least in my opinion, it's time to leave. Don't chance it. Regardless of what it is, if it's growling, it does not want you there. I've heard the little rumbling sounds that I also call that growling, and it's not. I don't know what the sound is, but that rumbling noise I never get that feeling that I need to go, that fight or flight. I never get that when I hear that rumbling noise. But what I just heard back there was growling. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post that clip directly behind this where you guys can see it and judge for yourself. And I hope that you hear it. I did get one footprint. It had rained this morning, early this morning, so I don't know if it was before this morning's rain or before yesterday's rain. You can make out a few of the toes in it, and it's not a real big footprint, but it's a print nonetheless. But I'm headed home, so just stick by long enough to watch the next few minutes that are coming directly behind this. Until next time, you guys, be safe. Alright, let's see what it looks like in first person mode of having a snake come after you. Well, you're fogging my lens up. is a mad snake. I don't know what's going on with my focus. Alright, I'm gonna leave him alone. I shouldn't be making him that mad. He's gonna have a heat stroke. Alright, buddy. We'll come and cuddle with you later. Alright, guys. I'm gonna go out here and check the property. I do not know what's happening with this camera. Sorry about all the noise. Let me go and adjust my settings. Stand by. Guys, I adjusted the camera. But something's growling at me. It's right through here. Whoop, right through there. I'm being growled at. I don't know what it is. I can't see it. Crap. I'm gonna back out. I'm not going back to check today. That was a very, very deep growl. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry, I didn't know I was zoomed in. Something right through here was growling at me while I was adjusting the camera. I'm sorry, I'm shaking. Very deep, very long, drawn out growl. I'm not gonna chance it, guys. I'm by myself up here today, and that was the loudest growl I've heard up at this property. So I'm gonna make my way out. I'll have to come back and do another video. I'm not going up here alone, not with getting growls that loud. I'm walking, trying to record behind me and keeping my eyes checked. Or keeping my eyes open, I'm sorry. That was a really low growl. You can get out here in the open. That shook me up. It was right after. There's the footprint. There's the footprint right there. And looking this way, you can see the toes. There's a toe here. That's kind of caved in a little bit, but there's a toe there. Maybe two toes. That is right, two toes, and there's a toe. Let me go back up here. That was a growl. It was a very drawn out growl. It sort of sounded like a like it was drawn out like that. That's where we put our trash at. when I bring the mineral out here for the deer, we put the bags in there until they're filled up. And then we use them as trash bags. This property was wrecked when we first got it. You see all that garbage, it was all over the entire property. And so we use the mineral bags and we'll fill them with trash once we get the crate full. I want you guys to see the blackberries right here. It's got a bug on it. There's a small one. It was really sweet. But we've got an abundance of blackberries. There's a bunch of them that aren't ripe yet. And then we've got there's a heavy food source for herbivores and omnivores out here. Blackberries is all in here. Gee whiz, that made me very, very nervous. That was quite scary. This is persimmon. These leaves, and these trees do bear fruit. They're wild Florida persimmon. And then these little vines right here, that's people call them wild grapes, or muscadines, or scuppernans. Very, very sweet. Excellent for jellies and wines, or just to eat raw. I'm sorry I can't go out there right now. Whenever I stopped the camera to adjust it, because the focus keeps going in and out. I had it on track focusing, and I didn't realize that. So I stopped recording and started going through my adjustments for the camera, the settings, and the growling started. And I have never heard growling like that long drawn out growling that loud, except for that one night in Marianna when I had that bad encounter. And I am not sticking around. I'm not going out here by myself and having stuff growl at me. So I know a lot of you guys are brave and you'll face them things or whatever's growling. That growl is telling you to get gone. It's not inviting you in. Well, something's been eating these blackberries up here. They're trampled. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. Look at the blackberries. They still got leaves on them and brown flowers. You see that? You follow this stem down, something stepped on it right there. I don't know if I can get down where you can see it right there. Something's broke it. This area was full. Literally, it was waist high with blackberries. And it may be bears. A few years back, we got a mama and a couple of cubs on just a few pictures, and that's all we've seen. There's a blackberry. They missed one. Okay. That may have been a coyote or a bear. Something big just moved right there. I mean, right here. I'm not going to be out here by myself. Not today. There shouldn't be this much activity going on, and I haven't even made it back to that area where all that stuff's been happening. I can't do it, not today. Okay, the snake's gone. Maybe he's not under the car. I don't want to hurt him. Make sure that he went away from the car. Those oak snakes are tree climbers. Usually wrapped up in the oak trees. I don't see him. Whew. I've got a headache. I got so scared from that growling. My head's hurting. Okay, I don't see the snake. I just want to look. Guys, all this trash is out here. We've hauled off so many truckloads and trailer loads. We got a long way to go to get it this front end safe to where we could bring the goats up, but we got a lot of property to, we got to clear a lot of this. It's like here in that, where I was just showing you guys the blackberries right over here that were trampled and all eaten. It was right there. Something started breaking through that growth, and you can't see in there at all. So we're gonna clear all of this. We're gonna take it down. I mean, you can look how thick that is back there. We're gonna open it up. I don't want these big guys coming in here on us, and I don't know if that's what it was that growled. Trying to get the video back open and recording, and I'm hoping that it showed up on video. That when I hit the record button, it was still growling, but it wasn't as loud and intense, but it was that long drawn out growl. So I'm not gonna stick around. I don't know what's growling at me, but I'm not gonna deal with it. There used to be a trailer house, a mobile trailer house set here. That's what the power pole's for. We have 2 power poles on this property and 2 septic tanks. And there's 2 wells. They stole the pumps off both wells. I put a hand pump on that one so that we'd have access to fresh water out here. That's the well pipe I pulled out of the ground. There's some more trash that we still got to haul off. Alright, I'm going to stop the recording. Stand by. Alright, I think that's better. I'm going to be moving slow because that's 3 snakes I've seen on the way up here. The black racer, the indigo snake, he was just too fast for me to catch. And the little rattlesnake, well, we don't want them up here, so I left him alone. And the oak snake, they're not very fast. They'd rather stand there and fight. So he was an easy catch. But we try to keep those type of snakes when we find them. We like to bring them up here, because as long as we have them eating the food source, the rodents and other critters that the poisonous snakes like, then our thinking is hopefully we won't have to deal with poisonous snakes. Okay, I'm fixing to switch over microphones, I believe. Or I'll wait till I come back. This is our property. I'm alone today. Something's been digging. I don't know what them little tracks are. They're tiny. Probably an armadillo. We're going this way. There's some more tracks. That almost looks like a... That is a footprint. No? Yeah. Wow. Oh, I can't see where it's at in the camera. It looks like toes. That is toes. It's not a very big foot. It's wide. I don't see no others. I'm going to make an adjustment to the camera, so stand by.